Welcome back. In this video, you will learn how to use webpack-bundle-analyzer with Angular to analyze your project and make necessary changes to reduce the bundle size of your application. So let's get started now. Before I install the Analyzer plugin and start evaluating one of the Angular projects, let's first understand the need to analyze the project. Why is it necessary to visualize the bundle size of your application? In my opinion, whenever we start a new project, we have a tendency to bring in lots of third-party libraries such as Lodash, Moment, moment-timezone, and so on. The problem with importing third-party library is that we also bring in lots of irrelevant code into your project. And with the increase of irrelevant code in your code base, the total bundle size of your project will also increase. And this eventually might impact the performance of your application. For example, if you are browsing one of your Angular application in the mobile browser, first it has to download the bundle in your mobile phone. So the more the size of your bundle is, the more it takes to download the bundle in your web browser. So until the bundle is downloaded successfully, nothing will be rendered on your web browser. So it's very important to minimize the bundle size of your application. So imagine you have a tool that helps to visualize all the dependencies that you are using in your project and its respective size. You can make a decision on which libraries to use or think about solutions that might help to remove the irrelevant code in those third-party libraries. These are few benefits that this kind of tool offers, but there are more than that. Let me now demonstrate some examples through one of the Angular application. On my right, I'm displaying two date and time. The first one is the time in Toronto, Canada, and the second time is of Australia, Sydney. And if you look closely here, we have two different date and time. And to render these two dates in two different time zones, I'm using Moment and Moment Timezone library. Everything is working as expected. I don't have any problem in this project. Now let's try to visualize the bundle size of this project. First, we need to install a package called webpack-bundle-analyzer. This library is installed now. I will put the link of this npm package on the description below. The second thing we need to do is we need to generate a build. To generate a build, we have to pass in one more extra configuration in our regular ng-build command. So if you look closely here, I have added --stats--json. So this is the inbuilt configuration provided by Angular. And what this configuration does is when we run this command, it also generates one JSON file. And we need to provide that JSON file as an input to the webpack-bundle-analyzer command. Let me first generate the bundle. Let me remove the previous bundle. Let me run this command. We now have this folder. We have our, as usual, bundles, but the file that I was talking earlier was stats.json file. Let me open the content of this file on one of the JSON editor. If you look closely here, this JSON file has a lot of information about modules, chunk, and so on. Let me expand one of these chunks. We can see the size of this chunk and lots of other metadata. We can also see the children, we can also see the modules, and we can see the size of each module. So this JSON file has a lot of information about all the dependencies used by the project and its respective size. And we are going to provide the same file as an input to the Webpack-Analyzer plugin. Let me add one more command. I just added one more command called analyze. And this analyze command basically runs webpack-bundle-analyzer. And the input to this analyzer is the same JSON file that I just created before. So make sure you provide the correct path to your stats.json file. Let me run the analyze script now. If you look on my right, it started a new web page. And if you look closely here, we can see all the dependencies used by my project. If I also click on this menu, I can see lots of other options. I can choose which bundle to analyze and so on. And it also gives the sizes on different formats like zipped, parsed, stat, and so on. If we look closely on this bundle analyzer, I can instantly see that this moment library is taking a lot of space. The total size is 563.86 KB. That's a huge size, and also is trying to use all the locales. But the question now is it really required to load all of these locales in your project? And for some projects, they might use all of the locales, but there might be scenarios where your project might not need all of these locales. They might select just one or two locales for your project. So that means you can visualize that with the import of third-party libraries, you are bringing a lot of irrelevant code in your project. Likewise, if we analyze moment-timezone package, the total size is 767.24 KB. That's a huge size. And both of these packages were installed through these packages. So now, as a developer, you have to ask a question to yourself. So why is this library so big? And is it worthwhile to install this library in your package? So again, this tool provides very important information to a developer. And based on this visualization, they can make correct decision based on the nature of their project. And also it provides an opportunity to developers to look for solutions to minimize the bundle size of your application. For example, in my case, there are few solutions that will help to minimize the bundle size of moment-timezone package and also the bundle size of moment package. The next thing I'm going to do is install a few packages that will help to minimize the bundle size of these two packages. So in order to install those packages, the first requirement is to add custom webpack configuration in your Angular application. In my case, I have already added a custom webpack configuration file. But if you want to learn more on adding a custom webpack configuration in your Angular project, I have a separate video on it. The link to the video is on the description below. Please check it out. So the two plugins that I need to install are moment-locales-plugin and moment-timezone-data-plugin. On the moment-locales-plugin, since my project only uses French locale, I just want to keep the French locale. So with this config, all other locales will be removed from the bundle. Likewise, in terms of time zone, I only need to support two time zones. One is the time zone of Australia, Sydney, and the other is my local time zone, which is Toronto, Canada. So here I'm just adding Australia, Sydney. So with this setting, all other irrelevant time zone will be removed from this package. So let me install these two packages as well. First, I'm going to install moment-locales-webpack-plugin. I will put the link to this package also on the description below. And the second package I'm going to install is moment-timezone-data-webpack-plugin. Both of these plugins are installed now. So to visualize the new bundle after we install these two packages, we first need to generate a new build file. So let me create a new bundle. Now let me start the Webpack Analyzer script. So if you look closely here, the bundle size of the moment package has decreased dramatically. The total size of moment is now 144.83 KB compared to our earliest size, which was 563.86 KB. And also, if you notice, we only have French locale. If you compare this to our previous report, we saw lots of other locales, and this was not relevant in my project. Also, if you look on the moment time zone, the total size is now only 16.92 KB. That's a huge change. If you compare this size with our previous report, it was 767.24 KB. That's a lot. So this is the true power of visualization tool. If you want to learn more on how to reduce the bundle size of your Angular application, there are a few other tips as well. I have a separate video about it. The link is on the description below. Please go and check it out. Lastly, based on the nature of your project, there might be a lot of other important plugins that you can install in your Angular application and reap the benefits. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, comments, or any suggestions, please write me down on the comment section below. If you enjoy watching my video, please share and subscribe to my channel. That will help a lot to grow my channel. Thank you very much and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.